we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth. It was because here in this land, we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David, they add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom. Each one of those markers is a monument to the kind of hero I spoke of earlier. Their lives ended in places called Belleau Wood, the Argonne, Omaha Beach, Salerno, and halfway around the world on Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Pork Chop Hill, the Chosin Reservoir, and in 100 rice paddies and jungles of a place called Vietnam. Under one such marker lies a young man, Martin Treptow, who left his job in a small-town barber shop in 1917 to go to France with the famed Rainbow Division. There on the Western Front, he was killed trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. We're told that on his body was found a diary. On the flyleaf, under the heading, My Pledge, he had written these words: America must win this war. Therefore I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone. We must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have. It is a weapon that we as Americans do have. Let that be understood by those who practice terrorism and prey upon their neighbors. As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it now or ever. We are Americans.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony is about to begin. Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends. Welcome to the Charlie Battery, 1st Battalion, 40th Field Artillery Basic Combat Training Graduation Ceremony. Today marks the successful completion of the demanding requirements of 9.5 weeks of rigorous Army basic combat training for these soldiers. This graduation is your special event to share with your soldier. You are invited to move about and take pictures as you like. However, do not interfere with the movement of the cadre or soldiers.
Everywhere I go,
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the invocation and the playing of the national anthem. The invocation will be given by the 434 Brigade Chaplain, Major Shareboard.
Let us pray. O God, our help in ages past and our hope for years to come, thank you so much for this great Fort Sill Basic Training Graduation Day and for all it means for everyone here. Thank you for parents, spouses, family, and friends. Thank you for drill sergeants and cadre. Thank you for these great men and women who are now becoming soldiers in the United States Army. Thank you for helping and supporting them through basic training. God bless them. Stay with them. Be their strength going forward as you have been their strength in the past. God bless all who have helped them make it to this day. And God bless the United States of America. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the commander of Charlie Battery, 1st Battalion, 40th Field Artillery, Captain Jacob White III.
Good morning, Colonel Heaton, Sergeant Major Bayota, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am Captain White, and I am an American soldier. On behalf of the Fort Sill Command Team, welcome to Fort Sill, the 434 Field Artillery Brigade, and the Charlie Battery 1st Battalion 40th Field Artillery graduation ceremony. Thank you all for joining us today as we commemorate the accomplishments of your warriors and our newest American soldiers. Before we continue to move on in celebration of the Army's next generation, we must take time and honor those who served before us. Will the military veterans and those currently serving that are seated among us please stand to be recognized? Thank you all for what you have done. 10 weeks ago, these 183 warriors seated before you left home, meeting for the first time, to become part of something bigger than themselves. Although they arrive as individuals, they are leaving as members of a time-honored team. They have worked and succeeded in every task that was put before them, because failure was not an option. As they would tell you, it takes more than boots and a uniform to make an American soldier. They have been instilled with the fundamentals of discipline and have embodied the Army Corps values of loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. These fundamentals and values are acquired and put into practice every day through tough, realistic, and safe training. You may have already heard the stories about the sting of the gas chamber, the nervousness of throwing a live hand grenade, the anxiety of rappelling from Treadwell Tower, or the pride of passing their final Army physical fitness test. These stories are just a small representation of their overall experience. In just over 67 days, they trained on 3 different weapon systems, foot marched more than 90 kilometers, learned how to perform life-saving measures, and experienced the beautiful, ever-changing weather of Oklahoma. Every training event is a building block towards forming a foundation of skills these soldiers will use in everyday life and in combat. They have shaped these skills by training like their lives and the lives of their battle buddies depend on it. Furthermore, they understand that the soldier's creed and warrior ethos are not just words to memorize, but words that American soldiers live by. These soldiers have met every challenge head on and succeeded due in large part to the positive leadership and demanding environment created by our Army's finest non-commissioned officers. These outstanding coaches, mentors, and role models taught your soldier the true meaning of discipline and teamwork. The drill sergeant's professionalism, competence, and dedication to standards have made a lifelong impression on your soldiers. Most importantly, these soldiers would not be here today if not for the undying love and support of their family and friends. I applaud you all and ask you to continue your support of your soldier throughout their military careers. They became American soldiers for you, their family, and friends. To the soldiers of Charlie Battery, I extend gratitude to you for your sacrifices you have made to become an American soldier during a time of war. By taking this courageous step at a dangerous time in our history, you have truly set yourself apart from our fellow citizens as defenders of freedom in the American way of life. You are well-trained, you are mentally, physically, and emotionally tough. Godspeed and good luck. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for our newest American soldiers. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Major Denver Key, who is currently the Battalion Executive Officer of 1st Battalion, 79th Field Artillery. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Major Key.
All right, good morning. Colonel Heaton, Sergeant Major Bayota, family, friends, and especially the soldiers. Thank you for the honor and the privilege of speaking to you today. So I know that I'm the only one standing between your families and you, so I'm only going to take like 27 minutes. No, I'm kidding. I'm only going to take like 3. So first of all, I just got a few pointers for you guys as you go on into your careers. Find yourself a mentor and listen to that mentor. Have them help you become the best that you can. Second, listen to your leadership. If it's not immoral, unethical, or against good order and discipline, do what you're told. Next, make sure you do something for yourself every day. Whether it's read, work out, whatever, do something for yourself. And lastly, Pay your bills. Because your credit's going to affect your ability to get a security clearance. All right. That's the important stuff. Now, just a few little things. So there's a special place in this battery, or in my heart for this battery. Not only did I get the opportunity to command this fine group many, many years ago, but my oldest son, man, this Oklahoma weather. He's graduating today, 1st Platoon Death Dealers. So I got like a whole speech, but it's not going to come out. So, but he follows in a long line of family members that have served, from his great-grandfather in World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam, my dad in Vietnam, and then me in Kosovo and Iraq. We're really proud. So, in closing, as my daughter always says, y'all are about to start your adventure. Live the Army values, live the words of the Soldier's Creed, make good decisions, and learn something every day. But most of all, have fun. Thank you. Let's graduate.
Thank you, Major Denver Aki. In keeping with the 434 Field Artillery Brigade's policy of recognizing superior performance, awards will be presented to those soldiers that have distinguished themselves during this training cycle. Again, ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to come forward and take pictures at any time, but please do not interfere with the movement of the soldiers to and from their seats. Thank you. The Distinguished Honor Graduate of the Cycle Award is presented to the soldier who demonstrates overall excellence in training and character development throughout the training cycle. This cycle's Distinguished Honor Graduate is
Private, First Class, Diaz Tate, New Orleans, Louisiana.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just ask that we keep this center aisle clear because that is movement of the graduates. Thank you. The Basic Rifle Marksmanship Award is presented to the soldier that attains the highest score during live fire qualification with the M4 rifle. This cycle's recipient scored 37 hits out of 40. The Marksmanship Award is presented to
Private First Class Christian Cypress, Richmond, Virginia.
Ladies, I need you to move on from the seats, please. Yes, thank you. The Physical Fitness Award is presented to the soldier who achieved the highest score on the final Army Physical Fitness Test. This cycle's recipient scored 348 on the extended scale. This award is presented to
Private First Class Rhiannon Reed, Binghamton, New York.
The Private George Watson Award is presented to the soldier who demonstrates overall excellence in leadership and service throughout the training cycle. Private Watson joined the Army in September 1942, completed his initial entry training at Fort Benning, Georgia, and was assigned to the 2nd Battalion, 29th Quartermaster Regiment, bound for the Pacific Theater when he met his untimely demise. His unit was on board the Dutch steamer USAT Jacob near Porlock Harbor, New Guinea, on 8 March 1943, when suddenly they came under devastating attack by Japanese bombers. After sustaining several direct hits, the ship had to be abandoned, even as enemy fire continued to rain down. It was at that precise moment, and under those very harrowing circumstances, that Private Watson demonstrated the utmost courage under fire. Forsaking any thought of his own safety, he swam back and forth across that deadly scene, dragging his comrades to the few available life rafts so that they might live. Over and over again, Private Watson's selfless actions and extraordinary valor, and the famous words, "At the risk of life, above and beyond the call of duty," certainly warrant his being awarded the Medal of Honor. The Private George Watson Award is presented to
Private First Class Joseph Lemancic, Appleton, Wisconsin.
The following soldiers are designated as honor graduates. Their superior performance has placed them in the top 10% of their graduating class. These soldiers have received a letter of commendation from the 1st Battalion, 40th Field Artillery Battalion Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Ralph D. Heaton, which has been placed in their official files. We ask that you please hold your applause until all honor graduates have been recognized.
Private Dominic Abril, Phoenix, Arizona. Private Jesse Adair, Saratoga Springs, Utah. Private Joshua Ambrose, Santa Rosa, California. Private Francisco Berlingeri, Killeen, Texas.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, we ask that you please do not block the way of the graduates. So if you could also not stand in that aisle, that would be great. Thank you.
Private Connor Brockman, Newcastle, Indiana. Private Jonathan Flores, Palmdale, California. Private Ryan Flores, Harlingen, Texas. Private Elliot Fuller, Enterprise, Alabama. Private Caleb Fulton, Sanford, North Carolina. Private James Heskew, Kerrville, Texas.
Specialist Joseph Ledbetter, Atlanta, Georgia.
Private Michaela May, Anchorage, Alaska.
Private Jocelyn Miranda, Stafford, North Carolina.
Specialist Joseph Murieta, San Rafael, New Mexico.
Private Jade Richwine, Sierra Vista, Arizona.
Private Ricky Segura, Los Angeles, California.
Specialist James Taylor, Houston, Texas.
Private Ian T.G., Thousand Oaks, California.
Private Carol Ann Webster, Brockway, Pennsylvania.
Specialist Jung Yang, Mustang, Oklahoma.
Please give these exceptional soldiers a round of applause. And now for the rest of graduating class 5718. Please hold your applause until all soldiers have crossed the stage. First platoon is led by their senior drill sergeant,
Sergeant First Class Tanya Barrett, Denver, Colorado.
The graduates of 1st Platoon Death Dealers are
Private Thomas Ackerson, Shelby, North Carolina. Private Donovan Akey, Lawton, Oklahoma. Private Jonathan Alexander, Frederick, Maryland. Private Shadanis Allen, Marshall, Texas. Private Scott Olson, Oswego, New York.
Private Rebecca Archer, Eagle Pass, Texas.
Private
Private Morgan Ashton, Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Private Isaiah Baker, Colorado Springs, Colorado. Private Zachary Baker, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Private Mariama Bangora, Bethesda, Maryland.
Private Ryan Barkley, Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Private Michael Barrero, Houston, Texas. Private Tyler Bash, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Private Seth Beer, Lake Bay, Washington. Private Lilith Beanhoff, Houston, Texas. Private First Class Aaron Bilby, Orange City, Iowa.
Private John Bland, Marshfield, Massachusetts.
Private Andrea Bly, Princeton, Texas.
Private Jason Brown, Dry Creek, West Virginia. Private Kenai Brown, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. Private Adam Buck, Stanley, Wisconsin. Private First Class Brian Buckberry, Austin, Texas.
Private Olivia Burnett, San Antonio, Texas.
Private Dustin Burton, Moncure, North Carolina. Private Tyler Carr, Kimberly, Idaho. Private Brian Carreño, Los Angeles, California. Private Adam Carter, Stafford Springs, Connecticut.
Private First Class Jennifer Chavez, Sacramento, California.
Private Shane Connell, Normal, Illinois.
Private First Class Alicia Conrad, Albany, New York.
Private Cruz Crawford, Phoenix, Arizona.
Private Michael Krim, Cleveland, Tennessee.
Private Xavier Zarnecki, Arlington, Texas.
Private Andrew Dalton, Erie, Pennsylvania.
Private Jeffrey De Jesus, Bakersfield, California.
Private Kyle Demetrius, Peoria, Illinois. Private Coy Doby, San Antonio, Texas. Private Derek Dragoo, Douglasville, Georgia. Private Brody Dunn, Rockford, Michigan.
Private First Class Angela Darlene Escalante, Medford, Oregon.
2nd Platoon is led by their senior drill sergeant,
Staff Sergeant Jimmy Butler, East Point, Georgia.
The graduates of 2nd Platoon Wolfpack are
Private Eric Dutcher, Rockland, Massachusetts.
Private Robert Ehlers, Toccoa, Georgia.
Private James Ewald, Frankfurt, Germany.
Private Javier Falero, Clifton, New Jersey.
Private Jacob Feeney, Louisville, Kentucky. Private Saud Flores, Eagle Pass, Texas. Private Elijah Foreman, Shawnee, Oklahoma. Private Blaze Frederick, Prattville, Alabama.
Private First Class David Gallo, Austin, Texas.
Private Jonathan Garcia, Inglewood, California.
Private Chase Gardiner, Trenton, New Jersey. Private Lauren Gardner, Rochester, Indiana.
Private Derek Guyton, Los Angeles, California. Private Alexander Hanau, Cranston, Rhode Island.
Private Kenneth Goldman, Trinity, North Carolina.
Private Benjamin Gomez, Pearland, Texas.
Private Lisbeth Gonzalez, Fort Worth, Texas.
Private Jacob Graves, Jasper, Alabama.
Private Christian Gray, Huntsville, Alabama.
Private William Green, Austin, Texas. Private Morel Harvey, Atlanta, Georgia. Private Solomon Haynes, Jacksonville, Florida. Private Michael Heminger, Jackson, Michigan. Private Brian Hernandez, Dallas, Texas.
Private Julie Hernandez, Dallas, Texas.
Private First Class Greg Hetrick, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Private Richard Hedinger, Chesapeake, Virginia. Private First Class Nicholas Hill, Swayze, Indiana. Private Michael Hogston, Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Private Bryson Holly, Baltimore, Maryland. Private Sean Honeycutt, Cherubusco, Indiana.
Private First Class Mariah Ornetto, Evanston, Wyoming. Private First Class Mia Wicochea, Portland, Oregon.
Private Dylan Jennings, Aiken, South Carolina. Private Austin Johnson, Rome, Georgia. Private Kevin Johnson, Atlanta, Georgia. Private First Class Simon Gilnoy, Nashville, Tennessee.
Private First Class Isis Kindred, Dayton, Ohio. Specialist Jordan Corporich, Folsom, California.
Private Jacob Kopersky, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Private Zachary Lamoth, Bowling Green, Kentucky. Private Jonathan Larson, Chanhassen, Minnesota.
Private Angel Laureano, Manatí, Puerto Rico.
During the training cycle, there are certain standards that have to be met in order to be distinguished as Honor Platoon. For Class 5718, 3rd Platoon has met these standards and is distinguished as Honor Platoon. 3rd Platoon is led by their Senior Drill Sergeant,
Staff Sergeant Reginald Alexander, Magnolia, Arkansas.
The graduates of 3rd Platoon Spartans are
Private Kyle Lazier, Grand Junction, Colorado. Private Juan Lechuga, Phoenix, Arizona. Private Caleb Lingle, Marysville, Washington. Private Nigel Long, Cameron, North Carolina. Private Hunter Lewis, Edna, Texas. Private Uriel Lopez, Dallas, Texas. Private First Class Adrian Luna, Killeen, Texas. Private First Class Angel Macias, Houston, Texas.
Private Chloe Malone, Castle Rock, Colorado.
Private Kivante McCarn, Redford, North Carolina. Private Sean McCready, Concord, New Hampshire. Private Shane McEachran, Lorain, Ohio.
Private Tessa Mailer, Falcon, Colorado.
Private First Class Carson Meyer, Spring Branch, Texas. Private Ethan Mills, Birmingham, Alabama. Private Raymond Min, Koreatown, California. Private First Class Angel Munguia, Pasadena, California. Private First Class Dalen Myers, Hartwell, Georgia. Private Michael Nash, Plymouth, Massachusetts. Private Frank Naylor, Austin, Arkansas. Private First Class Tyler Nemitz, Austin, Texas. Private Jared Newscable, Harrison, Ohio. Private Tyler Orlando, Roseland, Indiana. Private Declan Orion, San Antonio, Texas. Private Austin Ottaker, Valparaiso, Indiana. Private Ryland Bunnell, Frisco, Texas.
Private Elisa Papucci, St. Petersburg, Pennsylvania.
Private Matthew Parkman, San Antonio, Texas.
Private Riley Peterson, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Private Jaquez Pierre, Jacksonville, Florida.
Private Jasmine Pittman, Wichita Falls, Texas.
Private First Class Brian Ponce de Leon, Los Angeles, California.
Private Christopher Puxta, Sequim, Washington. Private Garrett Quinn, Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Private Isabel Ramirez, Highland, California. Private Ruth Ann Rapley, St. Catherine, Jamaica.
Private Jacob Rice, Cleveland, Ohio.
Specialist Jennifer Reyes, West Palm Beach, Florida.
Private Connor Riley, Elko, Nevada. Private Kevin Rivera, Guayanilla, Puerto Rico.
Private Anthony Vick, Thornton, Colorado.
4th Platoon is led by their Senior Drill Sergeant,
Staff Sergeant Grackett, St. Emil, Koror, Palau.
The graduates of 4th Platoon Raiders are
Private Stephen Robinson, Flint, Michigan. Private Jose Rodriguez, Birmingham, Alabama.
Private Ariana Proman Rivera, Mays Landing, New Jersey.
Private Ricky Salinas, Vacaville, California. Private Moses Sanchez, San Antonio, Texas. Private Michael Sanders, New Wilmington, Pennsylvania. Private John Sawyer, Portland, Oregon. Private Dylan Searle, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Private Dante Shelton, Bluffton, South Carolina. Private Peter Sharon, Wembley'sburg, Pennsylvania. Private Joshua Skoda, Warland, Wyoming.
Private Rachel Smead, Cumming, Georgia.
Private Duncan Smith, Concord, New Hampshire. Private Matthew Sprague, Independence, Kentucky. Private Justice Stanley, Aragon, Georgia. Private Brandon Stewart, Kingman, Arizona. Private Aiden Strait, Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Private Christopher Sundell, Spring Hill, Florida. Private Matthew Swisher, Madison, Wisconsin.
Private Eric Tagnani, Hunter Creek, Pennsylvania.
Private Brady Thompson, Lovell, Wyoming.
Private Stephen Titchener, Warren, Pennsylvania.
Private Michael Urbanak, Superior, Wisconsin.
Private Pamela Vasquez, Douglasville, Georgia.
Private Abram Warner, Sherrard, Illinois.
Private Ethan Weibel, Hillsboro, Missouri. Private James Widener, Mesa, Arizona. Private Dakota Worley, Spokane, Washington.
Private Maggie Willis, Baltimore, Maryland.
Private Anthony Wilson, Salem, Oregon. Private Clay Wilson, Fredericksburg, Virginia. Private David Wilson, Burlington, North Carolina. Private Levi Woolard, Mount Carmel, Illinois. Private Trevor Inez, Tempe, Arizona.
Private Paige Urick, St. Paul, Minnesota.
Private William Zaboro, Chicago, Illinois.
Please give all these very deserving soldiers of Charlie Battery a round of applause. At this time, Captain White will present the guest speaker, Major Akey, with a certificate declaring him an honorary graduate of Class 5718. We will now present a brief video displaying some of the more memorable moments of this basic combat training cycle.
The soldiers we are honoring today would not be here if it were not for the efforts of drill sergeants and battery cadre. These truly professional cadre members gave much of themselves and demonstrated great effort to prepare these soldiers to meet the challenges of military duty around the world. The cadre, which are the backbone of Charlie Battery, are First Sergeant William Newcomb, Supply Sergeant Sergeant Chaz Scott, and our training tech, Mrs. Amy Crandall. The drill sergeants assist individuals in their efforts to become highly motivated, well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldiers, capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield. The drill sergeants, who are the strength and support of Charlie Battery, are 1st Platoon Senior Drill Sergeant Barry, assisted by Drill Sergeant Rohrbeck. 2nd Platoon Senior Drill Sergeant Butler, assisted by Drill Sergeant Leak and Drill Sergeant Milo. 3rd Platoon Senior Drill Sergeant Alexander, assisted by Drill Sergeant Lang and Drill Sergeant Vergara. 4th Platoon Senior Drill Sergeant Imyon, assisted by Drill Sergeant Starks.
At this time, Captain White will come forward to present the Drill Sergeant of the Cycle Award. The Drill Sergeant of the Cycle Award is presented to the Drill Sergeant who has best displayed the qualities of leadership and devotion to duty during the training cycle. This award is presented to Drill Sergeant Leak from Laurinburg, North Carolina. In recognition of her performance, Drill Sergeant Leak will receive an Army Achievement Medal and the Drill Sergeant of the Cycle Trophy. On behalf of the Brigade Command Team, Lieutenant Colonel Heaton and Command Sergeant Major Bayota are presenting Drill Sergeant Leak a 434 Field Artillery Brigade Coin for Excellence. Drill sergeants follow a set of fundamental beliefs that guide them in training soldiers. The principles are set forth in the Drill Sergeant Creed. Ladies and gentlemen, an American soldier's first act is to swear to defend our Constitution. Just as the Constitution of the United States is the cornerstone of our free society, The soldier's oath is the backbone of the Army's commitment to preserving it. Graduates, please stand for the reaffirming of your oath.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States. And the orders of the officers appointed over me. According to regulations. And the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the singing of the Army song. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated while the graduates exit the building.
Center face. Forward, march. Left, left, everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. Everywhere I go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, we just want to put out a reminder to be cognizant of the inclement weather today because Lawton is prone to flash flooding, and you can receive your graduate at the same place you received them yesterday. Thank you for attending.